Some of the biggest names in hip-hop are helping attorneys fight a Texas death penalty case where prosecutors used the defendant's own music lyrics during his sentencing. In 2009, the defendant, James Broadnax, who is black, was convicted for the 2008 murders and robbery of two white men in Garland, Texas. Broadnax was sentenced to death instead of life without parole by an all-white jury. A major factor in his sentencing was 40 pages of his own handwritten rap lyrics, which some say is unconstitutional. Some argue this is a violation of free speech and creative expression. Now, Broadnax's lawyers are asking the U.S. Supreme Court to halt his execution, which is scheduled for April 30th, and rehear the case. Grammy-nominated rapper Fat Joe is one of the artists lending his voice to fight the execution next month. He joins us now. Fat Joe, thank you so much for joining us. Tell us about how you learned about this case and what made you want to sign on to this petition with people like Killer Mike, T.I., Young Thug, and Nori.
Thanks for having me on. Good morning. I just happen to know that hip-hop music comes from a place of creativity and imagination. And there's no way on earth that the stuff that we write is actually real. So it's no different than you watching a movie or you reading a book or whatever. So to see somebody go to trial with the lyrics they used on songs that they came up from their imagination to be used against them, it's a crime in itself. And so we have to definitely take care of our freedom of speech, our freedom of expression, our freedom of imagination, our freedom of...
You know, Fat Joe, and hearing you say that, it just made me think of murder mystery writers. You know, they can write the most extreme scenarios, but it's fiction.
And you yourself, you've also admitted to lying in, 95% of your rap lyrics because of that creativity.
I wouldn't even say lying. I was just being creative. And whatever, see, the music talks to you. It's hard for someone who doesn't make music to understand this. But when you play the beats tell you what to write. Sometimes it's happy stuff. Sometimes it's depressional stuff. Sometimes it's party stuff. So you're just making, if I take a kid, I'm in the Bronx right now, if I take a kid off the street right now, he's going to rap about having a mansion, having a Bugatti. This guy ain't got $2 in his pocket. Mm-hmm. But can you hold a person accountable for that in a court of law? And I do believe that the prosecutors and the judges know that this is unfair as well. And so we're just standing up in general. Not just this case specifically, but for all cases like this in America.
And there have been other cases where this has been brought up and litigated. But Fat Joe, what do you think people don't understand about rap in particular as an art form? For people who see the lyrics and think that they're very specific, that they might talk about violence, you know, what do you think they are not understanding about this art form?
Yeah, Travis Scott says rap music is being litigated and the culture is being weaponized through this.
You know, we've branded ourselves as so-called keeping it real. So some people think we really keep it so real that the stuff we rap about is actually our real life. Somebody who has kept it real his whole career, Fat Joe, has admitted it publicly that most of my music comes from my imagination and creativity. This is just a fact. And it's unfair to see somebody that go to trial and they use these lyrics against them when we know that they made it up. So I don't know the gentleman personally, but I do know that there's no way those lyrics are, no one's gonna say I robbed the bank at 8:52 and robbed the bank at 8:52 and it just doesn't work that way. And it's a shame that this man might lose his life behind these lyrics.
And by comparison, you don't necessarily see that done with rock music. You don't see it done with other genres that can be just as inflammatory. But to your point, Fat Joe, this is creative expression and part of the culture.
We see Martin Scorsese and we love him to death. And we say he's so incredible and his imagination and Goodfellas and The Godfather and, you know, and then when it comes to us, we got to stick to the script and be charged in the court of law based on the lyrics in the song, which is, it's a crime in itself.
Well, Fat Joe, we appreciate your time, and
Yes.
you know, clearly the rap community is coming together to try to fight this case. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.